Well, welcome on in, fellas. I'll say this, man, the Cleveland Cavaliers look a lot better. And today, welcome on into the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show post-game. My man Earl the Pearl is in the building. My man Anthony is in the building. And fellas, this is a much better feeling than what we had going on a couple of days ago, right?
The New York sucks chants were just icing on the cake, man. I was here for it today. We brought the energy. Darius Garland took the lead. I'm here for it.
Man,
all the smoke, Earl, all of it.
The Cavs came out ready to play. They came out with some aggression that I like to see from them. Caris Levert off the bench, man. It seemed like the moment that he checked into the game, a different type of tone was being set immediately. Darius Garland came out and asserted himself on a night that Donovan Mitchell actually had an off night. So, kudos to him for actually coming back and showing people like, okay, I am an all-star. You know what I'm saying? I'm that dude as well, and putting himself in that forefront like that.
I tell you what, man, listen, guys, there's so much to get to here. There's so much that I like. First of all, JB Bickerstaff, first and foremost, he put his team back on. I thought he came out with improved rotations, and you mentioned it a little bit. Caris Levert came out there like Caris Levert was like this was old school Caris Levert. Like I felt like he was embarrassed the way he played 3 points last game, but you can see the difference when Caris Levert is aggressive. You can see the difference when Caris Levert play with swag, and you can see the difference the offense looks when you got a Caris Levert off the bounce. He hit shots. And by the way, impressed with the overall defense of everyone, but I was truly impressed what he was able to bring to the table.
Oh, absolutely. Caris Levert, 24 points off the bench. He outscored their bench by at least 6, I think, by himself. If I'm reading these stats right, real quick. It was great to see. The defensive effort was just fantastic. I think these guys realized that they played soft that first game, and they knew that they were going to come out, and they had to take it to them to go to the Garden Friday and take a game in the Garden.
Earl, when you look at it, Donovan Mitchell, some would say he had a down game. I would say that Donovan Mitchell came out with a conscientious effort to get his running mate going. He made an effort to come back and get Darius Garland involved. And I think Darius Garland, he landed the pretty much the knockout blow in the first half with the 26 points. What do you thoughts about Darius Garland and the way he came back and really got back into the swing of things, Earl?
I just, like you said, early on, he was aggressive. Early on, he asserted himself. The 3-point shot was falling for him early on, and I think that set the tone for what type of night that he was going to have. To see him come out, really assert himself, not really play second fiddle, and it showed. You talk about the mental aspect of this thing, right? Where you heard his comments in the media after game one, to where he kind of felt like he was taking a backseat to Donovan Mitchell.
Yep.
And he really didn't know when or where to step in and assert himself. And it just seems like tonight, he didn't overthink it. He didn't psych himself out. He came out there. You could just see it in his energy. You can see it in his body language. So to see him come out there and have a game that he had today, what is it? 32 points off 8 of 17 shooting, 6 of 10 from 3-point range, and you had 7 dimes. That's how you're supposed to assert yourself as an all-star point guard. That's the type of effort that I expected from Darius Garland in game one. The effort that he gave tonight, you need to duplicate that once you get to New York Friday.
Hey, man, listen, let's read this, get some of your comments in here. By the way, man, 152 people in here. Make sure you hit that like button for us as well. Don't forget, if you are new to what we do over here, definitely check out our emojis, our badges, and becoming one of our tier members. We got the $1.99 out here moving and shaking, and the $4.99, the coaches tier. You get that extra bonus content. And tonight, we don't even ask you for much. We don't ask you for much. All the night we asking for is them like buttons, man. Big time win for the Cavs. They beat the Knicks 107-90. Series tied 1-1. Going back to New York. Hey, it's Friday. You're going back to New York. And what's so great about this in general, I had not seen the Cavs play that style of defense. Dead life, Robin Lopez with the real X factor.
This is my favorite part of the show. Click in the comments.
I love it. I tell you what, the way that they played defense, it was another level of defense. We talked about it on Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show earlier. I said if the Cavs are going to be the number one defensive team, they need to step it up a notch. Evan Mobley only had a couple of points. He had like 10 points, 12 points, a couple of rebounds. But the thing that was so impressive was his one-on-one defense against Julius Randle. I thought he guarded him, contested all of the shots. I thought the bigs, Jared Allen, I called him out. I said, I need that energy. You got punked last game. Jared Allen came out, played much better. Evan Mobley came out and played much better. And you know what I love to see? I saw a lot of New York boroughs laying on the ground. I see Manhattan, Staten, Uptown, Queens, the Bronx, BX, Boogie Down. Y'all was laying down. Y'all, look, Jalen Brunson had to get off the ground 4 or 5 times. Josh Hart looked like he didn't have that level of heart. They was half stepping, and we was putting that wood to him. We was bringing it. We was bringing it, fellas. That's what we was doing.
They never slowed down ever. I was really worried in the third quarter that they were going to take their foot off the gas there when they were up 20 points, and they put it right back to the metal. I was very excited for that.
Let me ask you this. Go ahead.
You talk about Evan Mobley's defensive effort. Julius Randle shot 8 for 20. You know what I mean? You're going to see that stat line and see that he scored 22 points. But it was he had to get it the hard way. He had to work hard for that.
He had to get that out of the mud, dog.
Yeah, and maybe this was subconsciously Evan Mobley, not winning Defensive Player of the Year, hearing the noise and just getting those first game jitters out as far as first game in the playoffs. But he came out on a defensive end anyway and inserted himself as a dominant force, somebody to be reckoned with, and it showed up. Julius Randle had to work hard tonight, and that's the type of, like you said, you got the defense that they played tonight. You're going to have to take this thing on the road. That's the type of defense that's going to have to travel in order for you to get your home court advantage back.
See, if Anthony, it feel good. See, we be on Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, man, right? And sometimes this how it be, man. Like when you only got about 10 dudes, right? We got a couple of dudes. We be having to mix and match, bro. Somebody be out a little bit. Next dude step up. Somebody over here. Hey, we need you to do the post game, dog.
Gee, how you think I got here? They called it the G League. They called me up.
Hey, we need graphics. Listen, what we doing? Me and Earl was doing baseball. We was just randomly.
Exactly.
The two brothers had the baseball holding it down. And I think the Cavs today had that same level of mentality. When Isaac Okoro, and I love this too. Isaac Okoro got 2 quick ones. He missed his first couple of shots. And JB said, I can't wait on you, dog. He pulled the Harriet Tubman on him. We don't do those. We can't turn around. Harriet Tubman back in the day said, hey, listen, hey, if you ready to go to freedom, we can't wait on you. Hey, don't you get caught up that we passing everything. Don't get caught up. And I thought what he did is he shortened that rotation, and you saw what it did. Jetty knew he was going to get the minutes moving forward. Caris knew that he was a guy, and I love the fact that Caris started off the second half, and that goes to the question I was going to ask before you did. Earl, the way Caris played, and the level of offensive ability and the way he played defensive ability going into game 3, is this something JB has to really think about? Should I roll out with Caris Levert, bring a core off the bench, or do you think that might hurt Isaac's mental psyche? Or what do you think is going to be?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Right now, I ain't worried about my Isaac's mental psyche right now. I mean, he played 3 minutes, right? In the first 3 minutes of the game, 2 fouls, 2 turnovers, 1 rebound. You know what I mean? I think JB Bickerstaff did exactly what we've been calling for JB to do, to make some adjustments, to read the room, and you do what's necessary. As far as starting Caris Levert, listen to me. It's a catch-22, right? Because you see the offensive output, you see the spark that he had defensively, you've seen his impact and effect on a game, But if you throw him in that starting lineup, then where's that coming from off the bench?
You see it.
You see what I'm saying?
Where the punch coming from?
Where the punch coming from off the bench?
Right.
When you get to that point, I think definitely he asserted himself as okay. I'm somebody that my team can count on. As far as Isaac Okoro go, the way that things went tonight, I can really see him being out the rotation. He might be listed as injured as a knee re-aggravating that knee or something like that.
Something like that.
So, you know, he might not be in that rotation. I think that JB seen what he had today without Isaac Okoro and said, okay, this is something that I can work with. You know, but we all know for some of these role players, that type of execution, that type of effort, you're not gonna get on the road. And so for Caris Levert, you know, he's that X factor. You know, Jay, I've heard you talk about he's a guy that can go get 50. So, you know, I don't know. I really don't. I really wish I had the right answer whether he should start or not. I mean, definitely you see his impact on the game. I guess my concern would only be, okay, yeah, if you throw him in that starting lineup, who's going to give you that spark off the bench when it's time to go to the bench?
You ain't got nobody to save you. No, you can't get to Captain Kirk off the bench, man. Anthony, I'm going to ask you this. We talked about it in UCSS. We talked about how quiet it was in game one. And the team didn't give him much to cheer about. What did you think about the crowd in game two? I loved the New York Sucks. That just reminded me, the New York Sucks, that reminded me of something, how we moving, man. I thought that was a great piece. What are your thoughts about the crowd?
I'm telling you, G, it felt like a real Cavs playoff game again, like back when LeBron was here. That crowd was on their feet the whole time. I mean, they had a lot to cheer for today. Like you said, Monday we didn't have a lot for. I was impressed with the crowd too. They kept up the energy even when we were up that much. Eventually, you just kind of like, all right, we've got this game in the bag. You start calling your Ubers, you start putting your food away, and they were still there for it. They didn't care. I was all for it. I love this town, and I love the energy that they bring to the field house.
Man, tremendous. I loved it. Now, guys, we get this victory. You go back on Friday. You know what type of time New York is going to be on. They technically stole home court advantage. And that's part of it. But at the same time, I do believe that the Cavs played so well that they've forgotten about the home court. They're playing with enough confidence right now that we can get to a point where I definitely believe that they can go to New York and get a win. Let's get to Balaki real quick. We throw that back up there, or we'll get to it. We'll read a couple of your guys' comments. Remember, super chats are available. Please hit that like button. And if you are new to the channel, 333 people after a big win, 107-90, series tied at 1-1. Cleveland Cavaliers game 2 versus the New York Knicks. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can get all of our content. Every single day we are here. If you're just catching us, you're a basketball fan, make sure you check us out, Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, every single day, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And we do appreciate you guys out there. Loved how physical they were tonight. They smacked them in the mouth and just kept punching them all night. And you know what? It was a good old-fashioned pistol whipping. It was bad. It was like they was backhand palming. Come here. Let me tell you something.
Yo, shout out to DJ Steph Flossman, who was on our show today. He said that the Cavs was gonna blow him out.
He did.
He said that.
Shout out to Steph. He did. And he said he would have some bangers for us. I heard Ether in there. I said, you playing Ether? I said, yeah, we ready to go, man. Hey, look, he did say, he came on the stage, he said, that's light. To be truthful, Jason Lloyd had the Cavs winning. OG Brad Sellers, he had the Cavs winning on that joint. So, yeah, man, you know what it is. Old-fashioned pistol whipping back in the day, man. Listen, old Ponderosa, my grandpa used to watch them. They just jump off the horse. Nah, get up out of here. I love it. I'm loving it. These guys, I'm looking at it like this. Now, I will say this. Throw it in the chat, man. If you guys are in the chat right now, talk about this. It's such a big difference between when they win and when they lose. Because when they win, how many of y'all just put a 1 if you feel me? If you don't feel me, you can put the 2, but put the 1. How happy you be like after they didn't win? I'm about to go to the refrigerator. I'm walking around all aggressive. Look, I'm watching the next games. I'm over here scouting.
Who we playing next
game right now? So you feel like you in the dugout, like, yeah, man, I already got mine. You know what I'm saying? I hope we just watching and scouting. I'll be feeling different, Anthony, when we get that win, man. It felt good to get off there because it was looking bad for your boy. Now 0-2.
they started off slow in that first quarter too. When they went down even just 12-6 and Okoro drove those 2 fouls in, I was like, it's going to be game 1 all over again. That's my thing. Game 3, they can't do that. They got to go into the Garden and pistol whip them right down. They got to turn the crowd on the Knicks. I think the New York crowd, if they turn on the Knicks, we have that game in the bag.
I do think, Earl, your thoughts. On the road, it's a different type atmosphere, though. On the road, you really can't count on the others like that. Is this a game on the road where you expect the same? Do you expect Donovan Mitchell to turn back up the aggressiveness on the road? And do you think Darius Garland can continue to keep this nice mix of being aggressive, but at the same time, being able to share the basketball with Donovan Mitchell?
So I heard Shaquille O'Neal talk about this in the pregame, and he said, he's played on teams that's had an adequate bench. He's played on teams that has not. And if you play on a team to where your bench is not one of your strengths, then the starters are just going to have to step up and ball out. So for Darius Garland, he's going to have to translate what he did tonight, Friday night in New York. I have zero questions or there's little doubt in my mind that Donovan Mitchell is going to be able to step it right back up and get into that range to where he's scoring 30 points. The key is going to really be Evan Mobley and Jared Allen offensively. When you're talking about being on the road, you understand that you're not going to get the offensive output from the others. The others typically perform better when they're at home. So I need guys like Jared Allen to step it up. Jared Allen cannot have 9 points Friday night in New York for the Cavaliers to win this game. And I'm going to still need to see more from Evan Mobley offensively. The 13 points, 13 rebounds, the way he played, watching him play, how he asserted himself defensively, all that's great. But those two guys are going to have to step it up on the offensive end of the basketball court for the Cavs to come away victorious or have a chance to come away victorious in Game 3. Because we all know if you're expecting Caris Levert to come up off that bench with 24 points again in the third quarter, that's gonna be a situation where you're setting yourself up for some disappointment.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough on the road when you go there. You're gonna have Spike Lee there hanging out. All of the top guys gonna be there. They're gonna be playing that stupid organ. Listen, they're gonna be ready to go. But I will say this, man. I love the fact that today didn't seem like, and I thought Jason said this. Jason Lloyd was like, I mean, come on, man. We really giving Brunson a lot of love now. Like, listen, let's be clear. We like Jalen Brunson. We like him. Like, he's a good ball player. But for a while, I had to pinch myself, say, hold on, bro. This ain't, I mean, he's not this ain't Iverson or nothing. Like, this ain't this ain't Steph Curry or nothing. We like your game, but I thought they did a much better job of doing a couple of things. They didn't give him much airspace. They did not give him much space to operate. I thought they did a good job of blitzing off the pick and roll, and just the intensity of anything New York wanted to get. Even when they, it seemed like they would have a step or they would look like they had a crack or crevice to get to the basket. It was always another hand there, another shot, another arm, another ball getting smacked away. I just think they was locked in defensively. And to me, I don't know about you guys, this is I haven't seen them play that type of defensive game. And obviously it's the playoffs, but I haven't seen that.
To me, man, kudos to Caris Levert for that, right? Like, we all was watching the beginning of the game. And before Isaac Okoro picked up that second foul, I think it was New York's first bucket of the game. Brunson come down, hit him with a jab, hit him with a little fadeaway, mid-range shot, and he's walking down the court and he's shaking his head. And I really thought from that moment that it was about to be a long night. So shout out to JB Bickerstaff for reading the room and like, okay, oh, hell no. This is not going to go down the way they think it's about to go down. Caris Levert comes in this game, man, and to me, I know Garland did what Garland did, but I feel like Caris Levert is not only the X factor, but I think he's the player of the game. He comes in the game, and Brunson is his defensive assignment for pretty much the rest of the damn game. And Brunson goes 5 of 17, 1 of 8 from three-point range. You know what I mean? So the way that he came in, he was physical with him. disrupting the shot, disrupting the psyche of it all. I'm telling you, that adjustment of when Isaac Okoro checked out, none of us knew at that time that his night was over.
Yeah, we didn't know. Hey, we didn't know.
And that adjustment, just that one adjustment alone, you could just see the difference in the energy, the how the defensive effort was exerted. And then I'll tell you another thing. Maybe it got in Jalen Brunson's head as well. You know, he thinking he finna cook on Okoro like he's been doing, and now here come big bad Caris Levert, and
you know, another thing they did, we'll get to this definitely. William Wise, we appreciate you, my brother. Thank you for the super chat, $20 super chat. They finally manned up and got physical, and it wasn't. And Anthony, you said this. You thought maybe it was going to be physical first half, but they took their foot off the brake because we saw that's a lot with the Cavs in regular season, giving up big leads. But like you said, Anthony, they kept it throughout the entirety, and they kept their starters in a very long time to make sure it was done.
Yeah, I was shocked by that. I saw a comment earlier. They liked that mentality. You don't want to give them momentum going into game 3. I agree. I understand risking the injury, but if New York is going to leave their starters in, we leave it in too. We don't give them a moment to breathe. They weren't going to give us a moment to breathe in that game 1. Why bother?
Yeah, totally agree with that. You know, I thought they did a really good job as well with this. I thought they made Jalen Brunson work defensively. You see, it's easy when you running around getting your jumper off and you getting your money off, and you know everything is easy. And I'm concentrating on offense, but I thought they did a really good job of running him. They put him in a pick and roll every single time, and people don't know how taxing it is to play pick and roll offense and you're a guard. You got to climb around bigs. You got to hedge. You got to trail. You got to contend. And I thought that took his legs away a little bit for a guy that is a smaller stature guy that is automatically going to have to get the ball using his legs to put it over bigger, longer defenders. Your legs is the first thing to go. And I thought they did a good job of not only playing physical, but making him guard somebody on the other end of the court. And that's and we talk about it. It's the Okoro thing. You see what it does to other people. If you just have to be a threat. You got to be able to say, I can get mine down here, because if you don't, you saw what happened game 1 when the person does not have to guard somebody because they can't shoot. It's just difficult. It's a difficult thing. And you know, hopefully they got a big time decision though.
That's the one. That's the one. You know, a lot of people, man, like to kill JB. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people like to kill JB, like to talk about JB ain't ready, this, that, and the third. He took a beating after game 1. And I think JB Bickerstaff deserves some kudos tonight. Because again, I'm gonna stay with the same phrase. He read the room and he adjusted accordingly. You know, we saw Danny Green. Everybody in Cleveland was screaming for Danny Green. Where's Danny Green? You saw him tonight, and it didn't take long. He was in the game within the first 8 minutes of the first quarter. You know, Seti Osman off the bench, a little bit more assertive. You didn't see Dean Wade as being the first substitution out there. Caris Levert, again, was the difference maker from the time that he came in. When he checked into that game, like Anthony said, it was 12-6. The Cavs go on that run, and they walk away with a 17-15 lead before New York called a timeout. The Cavs survived that 7-minute stretch that Jason talked about earlier. You know what I mean? And they put themselves in a position. And I think that we got to give JB Bickerstaff some credit. Whatever you did between Saturday and tonight's game, whether the film that you watched, whether the new ideas that your assistant coaches threw at you and you said, okay, we're going to go try this right now. I'm just glad that he did something different, because a lot of us has been on his ass about not going away from the status quo, so to speak. So shout out to him for doing his thing as a coach tonight.
P. Rothstein 216 says, we appreciate your super chat as well, brother. Taking out Isaac Okoro was the move of the game. Good bounce back game, JB. Couldn't agree more. That was what the move was. I thought that was the play of the game. 429 people right now listening live, a little over almost 10:30 Eastern here. We're going to run this about, maybe 5-6 more minutes. We want to get your thoughts in. We're going to go really quickly, rapid fire, and get as many of your comments. If you want a question for us, we're going to try to take as many questions before then and get those in. We'll try to do those. 443. We appreciate you. Hit that like button to get our content shown to other people. It's just a small token that you could do to help our content get out of there. So thank you so much for that. Kenny Miller says playoff basketball is already back. Sean Holt says good to see Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward at the game tonight. Them seats is 1,000. Them seats is 1,000, Earl.
Hold on, because I told Anthony this when we was getting set up, man. Our quarterback was there too. Deshaun Watson was out there sitting courtside as well.
Yes, he was. We'll talk to this. That article, somebody said Deshaun Watson is looking night and day from what he was doing last year. Listen, y'all might be in trouble. I told y'all might be in trouble. That's a whole nother thing. Y'all might be in trouble. This is all about the Cavaliers today. But shout out to them coming out supporting, though. Supporting. I'm glad Myles Garrett is retired from the Pro Bowl. We don't need to see you doing no more Pro Bowls. That's it. Rick George says, sorry from Australia. Have lead pass, so joined you late. No problem, bro. Come on in. We celebrating. Get you a glass, a cup. Get you a solo cup, pull up. You know what I'm saying? We got some pizzas coming on over later. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to eat. I don't want to eat too late. Super chat. Crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That's definitely crazy. Thank you so much for the super chat. Who do we start at 3 in New York? This is funny because we just talked about this, right? That's the first question. Have an answer. We still don't have an answer.
If you start Levert, you got to play Lance Stevens. I just don't. I'm telling you, I do not see JB Bickerstaff going to Isaac Okoro no time soon. The man, he stepped out of the game with 9 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the first quarter and did not return.
So who do you think gets those minutes, or do you think because he can't go with
if I'm starting Levert, I'm splitting those minutes between Stevens and Danny Green. You know, I understand that there's a risk with playing Danny Green on the defensive side.
I thought he did all right,
but I thought he did all right tonight. I thought that we keep saying the man ain't got no legs, and he's sitting out there like, hold up, you know what I'm saying? Let me cook too. So I just feel like you could put Levert out there as your starter. You're gonna have to play Lance Stevens. Let Danny Green continue to get those minutes. You know, we've talked in nauseum about that 3 being just a multi-man rotation, right? And so if you got to go with Stevens and Seti off the bench and Levert as your starter, then that's just what you got to do. But Isaac Okoro, to be all the way honest, he earned himself where he's at. Yeah, and that's 100%. Just the reality of the situation.
I haven't been on the Defend Okoro bandwagon, but I have a friend who's very much in the Defend Okoro bandwagon, and I've been telling her all season, I'm like, it's gonna cave, and I think we just saw it. We saw it live. Like, it's done. I don't think he's coming back.
Look, he may come back in another series. He might not be the series for you, dog. That's how it be. I didn't see Kevin Love get benched by a guy like when our playoff run. Hey, listen, Ty Lue used to get everybody up out of here. You never know if Shump was starting, JR was starting. He'll go small, he'll go big. P. Ross Sings 216 says, G. Bush, where you get that shirt and hat from, fam? I told you, I got a whole warehouse. What do you mean? I got them in every color. What are you talking about? And Earl's like, where my sweatshirt at?
My son got my sweatshirt, man. He had me out here in this like extra large sweatshirt, man. Looking like a girlfriend dude just left his high school t-shirt over there. Talking about something else. Let's wear it for a team spirit day on the show, man. I wasn't putting myself in that type of situation, man. The disrespect is real.
And you know something, Earl? The hoodie he got me is the nicest hoodie I think I own right now. Like, other than maybe my CAVS stuff, it is the nicest hoodie I own. Is my
baby. You got to be on a baby mama hoodie. Like, I ain't wearing this I ain't wearing this with just my underwear and a shirt.
Yeah, man. Like, look, Anthony and Mike be at work talking about some man. Let's say everybody, let's wear our barbershop gear.
You over here looking like, hey, what's up?
I'll be quiet over there. You know what I'm saying?
He don't even say that. I told him I'm gonna get him. I said I'm gonna get you a nice one, dog. But he be mad. Like, he don't want to hear it.
Somebody said got Earl looking like Ariana Grande.
Earl walking around with it. I'm like, that's crazy. Oh, y'all
Oh,
cats are
man.
stupid.
Y'all cutting up on this thing, man.
See, that's why we can't invite y'all nowhere. Y'all come over here. Y'all come over here and start disrupting the situation, man.
Yeah,
Hey,
at least we can blame chat for getting us off
Yeah.
course there.
Double K Creative says Jetty should start. Levert is better off the bench. I wouldn't mind that. Would you mind that?
I wouldn't mind that
Jetty.
either.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
either.
He's
I wouldn't
he's
mind
good to
that.
defend on Brunson. I just don't shoot threes, Jetty. I love you. I was there with the MVP chance earlier of the season. I just stopped shooting threes, man. That's all. That's all I ask.
He
1
had a
and
couple,
7.
You know, he'll listen. All you see, Jetty, no. All you need is just a couple to keep people honest. If he hit one, he like, oh yeah, we got to cover him. You know what I'm saying? Because they think, oh, listen, Jetty's foreign. He has a jumper. You're like, not really. If you've watched us, not really. But I'm not mad at Jetty starting. I like his energy. He has not been embarrassed defensively. I think he's scrappy. And you bring Levert off the bench, then you still can go with Levert, Danny Green off the bench. And if I'm going to do that, if I don't need, I might mess around and go with 7. If I don't need Okoro, he's a last ditch effort. I'll give him. He'll be my 8th dude in the rotation. But under no circumstances do I need to see Johnny Bravo, Dean Wade, Johnny Bravo. That ain't it, man. That's not it. I don't want to see him no more, man. He scares me. He's out there just for cardio. He's just getting cardio in, guys.
It's going to be.
Go ahead,
Anthony.
I'm just gonna make a joke. He looks so weird running too. I was gonna say it after game 1. Watching Dean Wade up and down that court, man, I look more in shape than that.
Anthony's like, I know when you're clueless.
Yeah,
I know when you just
hold on a minute.
It's a Tuesday night. The Cavs play again Friday night. It's gonna be really interesting to see, in the days in between, how JB Bickerstaff decides to attack the situation. Because tonight is great. And you can live in this moment for tonight, but it's time to move on very, very soon. And you got a real situation on your hands. The questions that the chat is asking right now, I think is very valid, because I'm personally right now telling you, I don't think Okoro is going to touch the floor no time soon. And so, do you start Jetty? Do you start Lance Stevens?
Right.
Or do you throw Levert in there? For me, I kind of like Levert in that role of coming off the bench and being that dude. Because if you put him in the starting lineup, the rest of the bench scored a combined 12 points outside of his 24. So if he's starting, where are you getting those points from coming off the bench?
And here's what you could do. You possibly could hide Danny Green. If you could hide Danny Green in there, like, listen, JT, I called him JT Barrett. What's JR Barrett?
RJ
Barrett, whatever. Listen, all the Barrett Media. Listen, this dude, we found out that you're left-handed, and we're just sitting on that hand. We're just sitting on it. Like, no, you got to come back and finish. Look at Evan Mobley right now. Look, even in this montage, he's looking at him like, you still got to bring that ball back to the left-hand side because you got the ball in your right hand. He can't finish that way, man. Hey, y'all on point with the no Rubio game too. Hey, listen. Hey, Mike, we love what Rubio was doing. He gonna get money, but he not gonna get no money over here, man. We couldn't. I mean, that game with Dean Wade, Rubio, and Okoro in the first, that was game blouses. That was they went up like 13 immediately. Like, you can never do that again, JB. Never do that again. Don't do that to your son no more. No, don't do that no more. We'll take a couple more questions. 449 people in here. Make sure y'all hit that like button for us. We appreciate you. And don't forget, coming up tomorrow, brilliant producer, you'll give him an opportunity to talk about what we're doing tomorrow. We got a great show, right? We got a great show.
Man. We got a great show lined up. Me and Anthony for the tag team, this producer thing for the rest of the week. So I'll be the lead producer for the next 2 days. Anthony will be taking us home as the lead producer Friday. Tomorrow, man, we're going to get more into this Cleveland Cavaliers conversation, recap it some more. When we jump off here, I'm pretty sure JB Bickerstaff is currently speaking to the media right now. We'll probably have more information on what happened, on things going on. I think Evan Damrell is joining us, Anthony.
Yeah, he's joining us at 11:30 for about 15, 20-ish minutes from Locked On Cavs.
Okay.
Evan's a great guy. He was at the game tonight, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Yeah, so
yes.
he'll be there. Switch over. The Guardians played a doubleheader. The Guardians lost to the Detroit Tigers twice today. How the hell that happened? Who knows? I'm pretty sure Bull is pretty pissed off right now. So it'll be interesting to get his take on that. Kevin Stefanski, Deshaun Watson, Amari Cooper, Greg Newsome, among others, spoke to the media as Cleveland Browns players got back to work today. Definitely going to touch on that, man. And then I was curious to get you all's thoughts on DeMar Hamlin. He was cleared for football activity. My man said he's ready to resume his football career. For one, I'm all for it. So we'll get into that, on the show. We got a dope show planned for y'all, man. McNuggets might not be in the building, man, but we still got all the sauce. So it is what it is.
Our panel tomorrow, for those asking, it's going to be Bull in our host chair, G in our middle chair, and Tyvis on our end chair.
Tyvis back in the building.
Full ready to go.
Bull gonna be going crazy about the Guardians. How you lose 2 to the Tigers? So we gonna get into all of that, man. So we getting up and coming up. We got something special. These dudes been doing some great stuff, man. We've been doing. If you have not subscribed, subscribe soon, because what we're doing is our 100th episode. 100th episode is coming up, and we got all of our categories.
No. Year. It's our 1 year anniversary.
We did 100 episodes. We did 100 episodes a while ago, man. Right? yeah, that was. That was a few months ago.
You're gonna watch me. I just took my medicine. Don't tell nobody. No. my wife like, stop it. You leave. But no. Listen, we get 1 year anniversary, and we are doing like Oscars, Emmys, and so basically we're gonna have different categories that you can vote on for iconic moments, best take, best argument, funniest moment. And if you want to get in, if you want to be a part of that so you can vote on that, make sure you sign up for the memberships. $1.99 is for our starters tier. $4.99 for our coaches tier, which is our highest level, gives you all the emojis, all the badges. You get a hookup on all of the cool stuff like we do. We really try to really incorporate that into what we try to do. And so you'll get an opportunity to vote on that. You still have some time to do it. So get it in now before we start. McNuggets will come back next week. He might shut it off. I'm just trying to get you in where you fit in. You might be, McNuggets tell me, I ain't gonna ask him. I don't listen. If you came to last week, I ain't asking him no questions. So do that. We appreciate you guys, and we thank you guys so much. Any final words?
For me, the Cavs, they seized the moment tonight. They understood the assignment. They knew that they could not go to New York down 2-0 in the series. JB Bickerstaff, he made all the proper adjustments going into game 2. We've been on his ass about not making adjustments and about not reading the room. I thought he did great at putting the Cavs in the best situation to have success. As far as the players' perspective, Darius Garland, we was calling for him to step out, man. He not only did he step out, he showed up. He showed out. 32 points, 7 dimes, 6 of 10 from 3-point range. After not playing like an all-star that he is in game 1. We talked about the depth, the bench. Our bench was outplayed, outscored, out-rebounded last game to the New York Knicks. They outscored us 37-14, out-rebounded us 22-5. Today was a different story. Shout out to Caris Levert, man. Your presence was felt from the moment that you stepped into the game. You didn't let up. As Anthony said, the team as itself, they played a physical style of basketball for 48 minutes. Not once did they let their foot off the gas. I just hope that the same mentality that they came into game 2, you take that into Madison Square Garden. You got to win 1 while you win MSG. You got to go get your home court advantage back, period.
Anthony?
Yeah, I don't think I can add much more than what Earl said about the game. But speaking to the fans here, it's like I know we were down after game 1. I know we get our hopes real high. We're so used to once we hit the playoffs, we're going to the finals. We got to get out of the mentality. He's still a growing team. Don't give up on them yet. They're still learning. They're still growing. I'm super excited to see how far we can make it. Anything past this series for me is gravy on the cake. I just want them to win this one. Let's go. I'm
Gravy
excited.
on the cake. You eat gravy on your
Yeah, I
cake?
said gravy on the cake, and I'm like, I'm just gonna keep rolling, and maybe nobody will notice.
Gravy?
It's fine. I meant to say
Gravy
icing on the
on a
cake, and then I was like, anything's gravy. It just all came out at once.
He's really excited. And I will say, man, listen, if you in the Cleveland area, see, this is the great thing about Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. See, we in the streets, really. Me and Earl will be doing a watch party. We will, if you're in a local area, we'll put it out on social media. Make sure you follow us at GBush91. Make sure you follow Earl. We will be doing something, a watch party live in Cleveland. We will be at a local establishment. And trust me, last year we sold it out. So if you in Cleveland, if you're trying to pull up, you're trying to see us face to face, come out and cheer on the Cavs versus the Knicks. We will let you know that we're at on social media. And as always, make sure you continue to watch the post-game show here on Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. We do it all. Let's put some gravy on that cake. That's the new one.
I'm going to play the video out. Everybody, we will have another post-game show Friday night. Tune in tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. We'll see y'all there. Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show.
Let's do it.
Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush.